there guys, welcome back to I Can't Witch Without, the series where I look each week at a different item. It can be crystals, herbs, flowers, so on and so forth, that I can't witch without. And disclaimer at the start of this video, this is not to say that you require each or any of the tools in particular to be a witch. It's just a way of looking at different items, having a discussion. We refer to two source materials, and in the case of the crystals it is the Crystal Bible and the Book of Stones. We give those as a jumping off point, nice reference point, means that people can go get those two resources if they so desire. I highly recommend the Book of Stones to anybody who is studying, starting to study, or just has a deep love of crystals. It's an amazingly well written book. So this week we are looking at garnet. Garnet. It's one of my absolute favourites. I love garnet. And for the purpose of this particular video, you have three types of garnet that I personally own, which is, this is tumbled grossular garnet. The little ones are green garnet, or where is it? Uverovite garnet, and then the red ones are the Almaden Garnet. So there are actually 6 types of garnet. Those are ones I personally own. I do not own any of the Sexuality garnet, which is generally quite yellowy orange. I don't think I've ever actually seen that. I don't own any of the rhodolite garnet, which is rosy red. I don't think I've ever seen that either. I don't think so. And I haven't got any black androdite garnet, although I would love some. So there are other kinds of garnet other than the ones that I personally own. But there you go. I will be discussing these 3 in particular. Right. So from the Crystal Bible, which is a good reference type book but doesn't offer the most in-depth of information. Garnet is a powerfully energizing and regenerating stone. It cleanses and energizes the chakra. It revitalizes, purifies and balances energy, bringing serenity or passion as appropriate. It is said to be able to warn of approaching danger, and was long carried ago as a protective talisman. Apologies, my hay fever has been bad the last few days with it warming up again. Brains. Okay. Garnet is a plentiful stone. They're readily available. Blah 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 blah. Inspires love and devotion. Balances the sex drive and alleviates emotional disharmony. Red garnet in particular stimulates the controlled rise of the Kundalini energy. The Kundalini energy is the energy that's said to go up from your root chakra and is often likened to a snake awakening. So, and aids sexual potency. This is a stone of commitment. Useful to have in a crisis, is particularly helpful in situations where there seems to be no way out, or where life has fragmented or is traumatic. It fortifies, activates and strengthens the survival instinct, bringing courage and hope into seemingly hopeless situations. It also promotes mutual assistance in times of trouble. Has a strong link with the pituitary gland? Pituitary gland. Oh goodness, this is no good for hay fever brain. My hay fever brain is struggling, you have to bear with me. And can stimulate expanded awareness and past life recall. Garnet activates other crystals, amplifying their effects. It clears negative chakra energy. Square cut garnets are said to bring success in business matters. Psychologically, garnets sharpen your perception of yourself and other people. It helps to dissolve ingrained behavior patterns that are no longer serving you and bypasses resistance or self-induced unconscious sabotage. Helps you to let go of useless or old or obsolete ideas, removes inhibitions and taboos, opens the heart, and bestows self-confidence. Almaden in particular is strongly regenerative. That's an interesting song halfway through. It's a regenerative healing stone, so that's this one. Bringing strength and stamina. Brings deep love, particularly self-love, and aids in integrating truth and affinity with the higher self. It opens the higher mind, initiates charity and compassion. Almaden opens the pathway between the base and crown chakras, channeling and grounding spiritual energies into the physical body, anchoring the subtle body into a physical incarnation. Grocery light, which is this one in particular, is useful to have during challenges, particularly lawsuits. It teaches relaxation and going with the flow and inspires service and cooperation. It's particularly the stone of fertility and aids assimilation of vitamin A. And Uvarovite, the dark green little ones, promotes individuality without egocentricity, at the same time links the soul to its universal nature. Stimulates the heart chakra, enhancing spiritual relationships. This is a calm and peaceful stone, helpful in experiencing solitude without loneliness. Also a detoxifier, reducing inflammation and lowering fever. Okay, so that's the crystal bibble. And we shall go for the Book of Stones, and we'll go with Almaden first, which again is the dark red. This is a rougher piece, just in case you can't see. It's obviously bin shaped, but it's not high polished like those ones. Just to mention, they do come in slightly different textures. So, Robert Simmons, Security, Strength, Earth and Root Chakra. Almaden Garnet is a stone of the ancient times in human history, when people were more intimately connected to the earth and when life was more physically demanding. Its energies are earth connected and can vibrationally enhance one's vitality and endurance. Activates and strengthens the base chakra, a portal of connection to the physical world. Excellent stone for those who are feeling ungrounded or lack energy. Also a stone of tangible truth. If one tends to build castles in the air, Almaden Garnet can assist in manifesting a realistic version of them here on Earth. And if they're a bit less grand than one's dreams, at least they are genuine. Stone of the first chakra can help arouse the energies of the Kundalini, the profound spiritual power said to lie dormant at the base of the spine. In this application, Tibetan Tektite can be a helpful ally. Once stimulated, the Kundalini energies are stabilized and kept somewhat grounded by Almaden Garnet's steady, slow vibrations. The stone of psychic protection, its relatively dense energies keep one strongly attached to the body, and when one is rooted in this way, it is difficult for negative energy or entity to attach themselves to you. Advised to combine with black androidite garnet for protection. I shall have to try and investigate and find one. I want a black one. And then Naisha Asian says that Almaden Garnet's energy helps cultivate a sense of physical security, safety and abundance. It stimulates the base chakra and the heart, allowing for the manifestation of one's heartfelt desires in the world. It helps alleviate worry, panic, and fear, and assists one in maintaining a sense of calm and the grounded connection to the present. It allows one to perceive the absolute support of the universe and the provision of all of one's needs, assisting in connecting the physical body and finding joy in the physical world. It's a stone of physical love and the relationship between loving partners. It is therefore an excellent ally for those who wish to attract or invigorate a love relationship. Okay, so then we'll move to Groschulite. Given as prosperity, health, earth, solar plexus, and heart chakra, Robert Simmons says that they are excellent natural grounders of abundant manifestation. If one can conceive it clearly in the etheric, these crystals are ready tools to bring one's vision to reality. The vibrational patterns creates an eager confidence and motivation to get down to business and make things happen. Paired with Moldavite, which currently I cannot afford, these would be unbeatable for bringing reality to one's rightful abundance and highest path of achievement. And then Nasia Asian says that Groschula Garnet is potent as a prosperity stone as has she ever worked with. It is healing all limitations on the physical level, whether they affect health or wealth. Has a regenerative energy, is excellent for those who've had money problems and wish to reform. It helps one to perceive true abundance in one's life and celebrate that abundance with joy. Physically, Groschula Garnet supports general recovery from illness. It assists regeneration in the body, so is an excellent stone for using during and after surgery. Right, let's move on to the one that I can't say properly. Eurerovite. Overcoming poverty consciousness, manifesting abundance, earth, heart chakra, solar plexus. Robert Simmons says that this type of garnet heals the feeling of insufficiency in all aspects, whether it be a sense of scarcity in finances, self-confidence, love, power, knowledge, vitality, or any other experience or quality. Euverovite can clear away the idea that one is not enough. It opens the heart, allowing one to see that one contains everything that you truly need. It brings a sense of peace, contentment, plus the knowledge that the universe provides one with precisely what is required in any given moment, at least as far as the agenda of one's spiritual evolution is concerned. In seeing this, one learns to surrender to that agenda, healing the struggle to satisfy the lower desires, which are, after all, the source of feelings of lack to begin with. This leads us to the well-known paradox that one can have anything as soon as one gives up the desire for it. It gently leads to this lesson, for as soon as the feelings of lack have been discharged, one is in flow with universal abundance. This too is enhanced by the energies of Euverovite. And then Nasia Asian compares it to green garnet, but says that it embodies the frequency of prosperity and wealth, but is more intense and can assist in one in learning what it is like to joyfully accept what is offered by the universe. On a heart level, Euverovite can assist in healing emotional wounds caused by feelings of scarcity, feelings of not enough love, support, or consideration in past lives or relationships within this lifetime. These patterns of emotional scarcity often underlie patterns of financial scarcity. Euverovite can help one to attune to the source of energy from the universe, releasing scarcity patterns, overwriting them with frequencies of joy, love, and abundance. There we go. We made it through without too much of a hassle. Apologies for my brain. Apologies for my brain. Okay, so garnet is one of my absolute favourite stones because it's one of the crystals, particularly the red, that aligns with the goddess Morrigan strongly in my mind. It's a crystal which is not necessarily given as a stone of Morrigan, although I have noticed since I've been arguing for it in more recent times, it tends to pop up more and more. The reason that I always initially felt that way about the particular energy of garnet is it looks like droplets of blood and contains the energies of lifeblood in a way. It can activate the Kundalini energies, the sort of very strong life force energies as given in the books, but it's more than that for me. Particularly the red garnet, which is the one I connect to the most. I've had a little trouble with green crystals in the past, but we are overcoming it. I know, I'm an earth sign and I'm not a fan of earth-based crystals. Right. At least the green ones, because technically speaking the red ones are earth-based as well. Anyway. It's interesting that though, isn't it, that you'd think, given being an earth sign, you would connect most easily to earth-based crystals, and yet it doesn't really work that way, although technically speaking all crystals have a basis in earth for the most part at some point. So, Goddess Morrigan. The red crystal, the red garnet, is very much a sexual crystal, and the two books do mention this in sort of in passing, but it's not really given much of an in-depth look. I think that the red garnet really hints at something which I think we should pay attention to, and that is the energy or the idea that we have kind of lost the true meaning of what it means to be earthy in modern society, that we have disengaged slightly and tried to civilize and cultivate what earth energy actually is. And you can even see this with regards to modern interpretations of where the earth element belongs within magic, witchcraft and Wicca. And it's very much given to a hearth and home element, which by its very nature is where we live, in our own homes, in our places of security and elements of finance. And this has become very sort of civilized and cleansed of its deep meanings. We forget about the roots, we forget about the unshakable energy of the earth, the deep sexuality, the deep sensuality, the nature of creation in the universe, which is that sex is required for reproduction, and sex and sex organs and sexuality is present in all life on this planet. The desire, the pleasure to reproduce and populate one's particular species is something across the board. It connects all of us, and yet unfortunately, because of multiple reasons, but you know, spiritual shame attached to the idea of sexuality amongst other things, it's been treated as kind of base and almost like a lower energy. Even in sort of new age spiritual philosophies, there's sort of a determination to separate oneself from the physical, from the sexual, and it all becomes about the spiritual, which is to basically disconnect yourself from a very important part of your human experience. We are here to have a human experience, and I think this is something Garnet teaches very well and is reflected in Morrigan sexual energies, which is the relationship between one's sexuality and earth and the land. So in terms of Morrigan energy, and this works very well with the imagery of Garnet, that blood would fall on the battlefield, and that would be lifeblood going into the earth, and the idea of the Morrigan being attached and being the lifeblood of the land, in that she could choose the sovereign king or queen for a particular land, because the type of ruler they were was directly reflected in how well the land was doing, harvests, abundance, and so forth. So that sort of abundance and earth energy, as well as a sexuality, ties very strongly into the idea of the primal earth, which is something that we seem to sidestep in a lot of energies. And it's sad, because its sexuality is something to be celebrated as long as it is healthy and consensual. That being said, all of the crystals in front of you have a very strong, I was going to say fidelity. I guess that kind of works in the fidelity aspect. I was going to say fertility, but fidelity does work as well. It keeps a relationship and fidelity in a relationship by keeping healthy sexual relations. In terms of fertility, this ties back into its abundance earth energy, in that healthy sexual relations leads to abundance, and that doesn't necessarily have to mean in terms of human relations, where it can mean as in earth, when the plants and animals are healthy and sexual and reproducing. That means an abundance of harvest, an abundance of animals, and the planet continues. There is obviously that disconnect that we talked about in modern society, and where everything has become more cultivated and sustained, and everything's become a little bit revolting rather than free and wild like it was supposed to be, which equals the disconnect to that earth energy. And I think a lot of people might be quite surprised to learn that garnet is an earth energy stone. It feels more fiery, I can definitely understand that, and it's because of this disconnect we have with what it means to really embrace the earth element. It was a problem for me for a long time, reading these books and being an earth sign and being told that earth was so boring and stable and it's not. It's so much more. Anyone who's ever been anywhere near an earthquake can tell you that the earth is a powerhouse of magical power, and anyone who's ever connected to a plant deva can tell you how incredibly spiritual and mystical and magical the energies of earth can be. And garnet brings that back into the fore. It teaches us to stop believing in these limited ideas of what a particular energy is, and look beyond that and really embrace that in terms of our own understanding, our own fidelity, our own fertility, and what all that means, because it doesn't necessarily mean fertility in terms of having babies. It can be fertility in terms of creative inspiration, in terms of financial abundance, and learning how to fit those energies into our spiritual path, rather than having a complete disconnect between what we are doing in the physical realm and what we're doing in the spiritual realm. For me, the energies of garnet really do pull those two together, that teach us that we should be practicing spirituality throughout our everyday lives, that everything we do is infused with our magical and or spiritual energy, and therefore we cannot disconnect the two. We have to reevaluate what we're doing if it is not in line with our spiritual higher self. I haven't worked too much with the green garnets as much as the red garnets, but the little green garnets, I kind of love them. They're kind of little joyful pops of energy. They're really interesting. They're very much about the heart chakra and cleansing out the heart chakra, and a real sense of, like the book says, you know, you're enough, and that kind of self-love energy. They work very well with the pinker crystals, your pink tourmaline, your pink opal, your strawberry quartz, things of that nature, for really cleansing out the heart chakra, for lifting your spirits, for making you feel a bit better, and for reevaluating how you are talking to yourself. So it kind of grounds away anything that you're doing to yourself, any sort of negative self-talk, kind of grounds that out, because it's quite earthy. So I think that's all we need to, yeah, I think that's everything. that I really want to talk about. Again, there's a strong warrior type energy with the red crystals, quite Morrigan-esque, about fighting your battles, picking your battles, and really sort of evaluating what is best for you. And it has a strong energy of kind of a justice energy working through the red garnet as well. In reality, it helps you to see what a situation needs to be and the justice side of it, and what needs to be the outcome and what the truth element is. It really does sort of cut through any crap and help you see the truth in a situation, and help you to really evaluate what you're doing as well. If you're not being totally truthful with yourself or others, Garnet will just sort of slap you around and be like, stop that right now. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video. I will attempt to sort a working witch video out. It will either be a video on the channel, or there will be a picture and written spell on the Facebook page. If you haven't checked out the Facebook page lately, we've been shifting it around, edging it up a little bit, and it's becoming a little bit more of a resource witchcraft tool, as well as obviously promoting the store. So if you haven't seen it and you are interested in seeing some of the spells that are being posted on there, some of the poetry that's being posted on there, things of that nature, and there's some really great links to external websites and other fantastic witches on the Facebook page. It is www.facebook.com/starry-eyed supplies. I'll put the link in the down bar. So that's it for this video. Many blessings.